What's going on, guys? We are now live. So I'm going to start off this live stream just answering a couple questions from the week. One of them being how to flush. Somebody on my Instagram actually messaged me asking me how I flush, how he can flush a basketball because he's working at actually dunking too. So he asked me that question, so I'm going to answer that. I had another question from a YouTube comment that was how much should I warm up before my actual dunk sessions or working out? And then the last thing I want to touch on is, and I brought on here endurance training, but it's actually going to be more related to those. If you guys have ever seen people wear those masks while they work out, that's what it's going to be geared towards, because I feel like, I don't know, I've just seen those a lot, and I never understood the purpose. Like I've never tried one or anything, but I just want to look into it a little bit more. So I'm going to talk about it and yeah, give you guys some cool background information on it. So just to start off with the first question, how do you flush a basketball if you're right at the rim, or if you're at the point where you feel like you can actually flush but you're just not flushing? So for me, if you're working with the regulation ball, I feel like that it's mainly about timing and repetition with it. So if you feel like you're jumping high enough and you just can't get that last push to actually flush it, then I feel like just keep working with timing, keep doing more repetitions with it. Hey, what's up, Dunks for Christ? Just keep doing repetitions with it, but if you feel like you might need a little bit, you need to be jumping a little bit higher, then working with a smaller ball can also help, just with the movement and getting the repetition with actually snapping your wrist through the rim. I never worked with a smaller ball, but I found that just by doing more repetitions with an actual regulation ball, that when I gained like another inch or two in my vertical, that's when I actually started to flush. And I mean, it's just been recently I've actually been like flushing more, but since recently, like I said, since recently I haven't been I hadn't been flushing. So it just took jumping a little bit higher, getting more repetitions with a regulation ball, and yeah, that's pretty much my advice with flushing. And if you're right there, then just keep working with it. Try a smaller ball just to get repetitions, get the movement down, and just work on your timing. So that's to answer the first question. To answer the second question, actually, I'm gonna give these people a shout out really quick to who asked me. So the first question was King Ali 23 on Instagram. Hey, what's up, Hillel? Number 12, Hillel's 12th live stream in a row. So that was from King Ali 23. The question about how to flush, and then how much do I warm up? That is from, bring it up really quick. That is from Superballer 365 on YouTube. So he asked, how much do I usually stretch warm up before your sessions? Would you consider doing an experiment involving little or no stretching / warm up? So to answer the second part of that question really quick, I would definitely consider doing an experiment with little or no warm up, because I just think that'd be interesting to see how that might affect it. I feel like it would just take longer to get into dunking, just because I'd have to warm up by actually jumping more. So yeah, that's the answer to the second part of that question. But how much do I usually stretch and warm up before my sessions? So if I'm just doing a dunk session, I will usually just shoot around a little bit. I'll do some like hip swings, like side to side, with I'm just like up against the wall, side to side, and then front to back. I'll do those, or I'll do sprints. So the side to side sprints, and then just shooting around. And then I'll also do some like light jumping at the rim, just to kind of warm up and get the motion, get some reps with the motion. But other than that, I don't really warm up. I don't warm up too much to the point where I'm gonna like tire myself out. I know Dunks for Christ, we were talking about last time how you said that you feel better dunking after you play. And I found kind of the same. I found kind of the same thing. Like I didn't need as much of a warm up dunking after I played a couple pickup games. But I felt like if I would have played maybe like 1 or 2 more games, that would have been a little bit excessive. So I feel like playing the 2.5 games that I did, I subbed in for somebody in the first game because he like broke his finger or jammed it really bad or sprained it. So yeah, I played half a game the first game and then played 2 more full ones after that. But then I did my dunk session and I felt pretty good. Like I felt like I didn't really need as much of a warm up. I feel like I was almost a little too warmed up than I usually would be going into a dunk session. So that was kind of a difference with that. But other than that, like it felt good. So yeah, so normally before sessions, I'll just do those things that I mentioned, either just shooting around, do the hip swings, sprinting, or just like light jumping, just to do something to kind of mimic the movement in like a lighter form. So that's kind of what I do. What do you run up to? So Dunkster Christ asks, what do I run up to? Like, wait, never mind, probably like 7 or 11. Wait, Dunkster Christ, what do you? Oh, you mean in the game? Like what do the games go up to? The games that we play here at my college, we usually play to 15. Okay, yeah, he did mean the score. Okay, yeah, so we usually play up to 15 by 1s and 2s. So I mean the games go a fair amount of time. Like usually they go around like 20 minutes. I think both the games I recorded, one of them was 17 minutes, the other one was like 15. So yeah, they don't go more than 15. I mean, actually they could go more than 15 because we usually play like win by 2. So yeah, it could get pretty long. But I mean, thankfully there's a lot of courts at the gym, at the gyms that are at my school here. So I mean, it's kind of nice. But yeah, they could last like 20 minutes. And we, like I said, we don't play straight up. We'll play like win by 2. If the score is like 14-15, then we'll just keep going until someone wins by 2. But yeah, that's how we play here. So, and the courts are actually like a pretty good size for being just like a normal gym court. I don't know if you guys saw the video I posted on the experiment for dunking after a game. Like I was recording in the gym that I play at sometimes at my school here, and the courts are like I don't know if I would say that they're as big as like a regulation like high school court, maybe just like a little bit smaller, but like bigger than they're bigger than like most normal gym courts, I guess. Normal gyms being like LA Fitness or just like other gyms like that. If you guys have gyms, I know. Hello, I know. I'm just like, you know what I mean. Hello, hello. Somebody complained about like some other little stupid stuff in the past that doesn't really matter. So, Dunks Christ, Mike, you're low key actually so nice at ball. Thanks, man. Yeah, I played in high school for like 3 years. And then yeah, didn't play my senior year, just like was focused on like school and stuff. But yeah, it was pretty fun. Like the school I went to was really big too. My high school had like 4,000 kids, so I mean it was really competitive. I mean fairly competitive for like you know, in terms of like the schools we played in. Like since our school was so big, like there was a lot of competition. So I mean, it wasn't like it was, you know, if you just tried out, you made the team. It was, you know, you had to put in a lot of work to make the team, and to play was like a whole nother thing. So, I mean, there was a lot of competition at my high school. So, I mean, I guess that could be part of the reason. Okay, so to move into, I was actually doing some research right before this because I wanted to like get more into this because I thought it was an interesting topic to talk about because I've just been seeing it more and more, and I've just like, it's like caught my interest. Dunkster Christ said our school only has 2,000 and it's already competitive. 4,000 is crazy. Yeah, literally my high school has like turned into a small college, pretty much like a community college. Like my senior year they renovated it to I think being 4 floors, like 3 or 4 floors, and then like the freshmen also had like their own little building. It was just huge. Like literally part of our conditioning for basketball sometimes if the weather was bad outside would be to just run around the school. So yeah, I mean it was it was a pretty big school. But anyway, so to talk about endurance, this wasn't really asked. Maybe it was. Let me see. Oh yeah, so somebody asked me about like working out and if like plyometric training was considered, or it was like a strength exercise, and I basically said plyometrics is almost like an application of your strength. So like if you're doing strength training type of exercises, Thanks, hello. Hello said Mike, you're dropping nice dimes out there. But yeah, so somebody asked me if plyometric training was like strength training, if they would get stronger from it. And you definitely get stronger from plyometric training, but I feel like it's more of an application of strength that you gain from doing like actually weightlifting exercises or, whatever type of workouts you're doing. I feel like plyometrics is just a way to like apply that strength, just like jumping would be an application of the strength that you get from working out or whatever. So yeah, but I just wanted to really dive into these breathing masks. Have you guys ever, Hillel, like Dunks for Christ, have you guys ever seen, or anyone else watching, have you ever seen people on Instagram or working out or anywhere really wear those like those masks that like go around their mouth and their nose? I don't even know if it's their nose, but it just goes around their face. And I don't know, I've just seen like a lot of people on Instagram like wearing them, dunkers too, like wearing the masks. And I did some research on it because I was like, I wanted to see if these things actually worked and like what they actually did. Okay, so Dr. Christ said, yeah. I just wanted to like look into them and see what they actually did, if they did anything, because anytime I see like something, anytime I see, oh, Dr. Christ, okay, so he said Kick Genius made a video on it before. So what did they say in the video before I get into this? Because I'm curious to see what they said compared to what I'm about to talk about. This is interesting. I think I'm actually subscribed to Kick Genius, but I didn't see the video that they made on the masks. But I want to see what Dunks for Christ has to say what they said, because like I looked at a couple of different articles and scientific studies to see if there's actually an effect, if you'd actually gain any benefits from the mask. So I want to see what Dunks for Christ says. Jacob Standar, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, he said, is it possible to dunk at 5'3" at age 14? So I don't like to say that there's any restriction or any set age, like height, weight, whatever, that you can't dunk. So I mean, I would just say if you're starting off right now, then I feel like you would definitely be able to dunk. It might just take you more work. Like obviously you're going to need more strength than somebody who's like, 6 foot. But if you start working at it now and you stay consistent with it, like consistency, like if you guys have ever seen my other videos, like I talk about consistency a lot, because I feel like if in anything you want to do, in any goal you have, I feel like consistency is one of the, if not the biggest, is like the biggest thing you could do to work up to that goal. Because if you're consistent with it, then you'll at least be working towards the goal. Like you won't just be quitting and saying, I'll get back to that some other time, and maybe you won't even get back to it. So I feel like just staying consistent and constantly improving and looking at your weaknesses and just like being conscious of like what you're doing, like day in and day out, whether it's your dunk sessions, your workouts, your stretching, your nutritional habits, whatever it is, that if you're just aware of it and you want to get better, then that's a good place to start. So Jacob, I feel like it's definitely possible, and you'll probably grow still. I mean, that's just like, you're only 14, so you might still grow. So I mean, I just feel like just have that in mind. Like just know that if you start putting in work now and stay consistent, that it'll be easier down the line if you want to keep working up towards it. So Dunks for Christ said, they said it's like working on your stamina and cardio without losing your gains, because he was doing bodybuilding training, so he didn't want to lose his gains, so he used the mask. Hello said it makes hard to breathe that way. It trains your lungs or something like that. Okay, so I wouldn't. Okay, so Dunks for Christ, it's working on your stamina and cardio without losing your gains. Okay, so that right there, that part where it says without losing your gains, like contradicts what I found, like with scientific, like with the research I looked at. And Hillel said it makes it hard to breathe that way. Okay, so Hillel said it makes it hard to breathe, so it trains your lungs, and that is more what it does. So with the breathing masks, from like the way people wear them, it seems like that they would be wearing the training mask to have a goal of either like improving muscle function, or like Dunks for Christ said, Kick Genius said, to improve your stamina and cardio without losing other gains, while doing other type of training or aerobic exercise or whatever. So with the research I was doing, the article I looked at had like 15 different 15 different studies cited from Journal of like Sports Medicine, Physiology, and just like other research articles like that. So if, I could link it in the description if you guys want to look more into it. But basically, I wrote down some key points from the article, and the first thing I wrote down was, so if you really want to train to improve, like for example, like blood circulation to your muscles or whatever it might be, then like wearing a mask is not going to do that. So what the article says is that the goal would be to train, if you want to do that, the goal would be to train in places with lower atmospheric pressure, which that just means like training at, like for instance, if you're training at higher altitudes, low atmospheric pressure means that there's going to be less oxygen particles in the same amount of area that there would be if you're training at like sea level, for example. So like at sea level, there'd be more oxygen particles in the same area compared to at a higher elevation or someplace with a lower atmospheric pressure. There would be a decreased number of oxygen particles in that same area. If that makes sense. So that is just like that's like the first point the article is making about, if you really want that, if you really want to work on that, then you would have to train in a place that has a lower atmospheric pressure, meaning lower oxygen particles in the same area as there would be at sea level. And then it went on to say that you would have to be exposed to a condition like that for months to even reap the benefits. So like there has been Olympic athletes who, you know, they've stayed in like capsules or rooms that have been specifically like engineered to lower the actual amount of oxygen particles in the room so that they could train in those situations, but they're going to be training in that for months, and that would benefit like an endurance athlete. And the article went on to continue to say for months, and if they're training in these conditions for months, it may improve efficiency of the body to increase hemoglobin content, which would just be like basically like blood flow and capillary density, which that would increase oxygen delivery to the muscles. So in that way, by having an increased blood flow, that would increase the amount of oxygen delivered to the muscles, right? But with the masks, you're just decreasing the amount of air you're intaking. So like the article said, it'd be like putting a pillow over your face or like trying to work out or breathing through a straw. So in that way, you're not necessarily lowering, you can't lower the atmospheric pressure by just putting a mask on your face. You're just lowering the amount of the intake of air that is getting to your lungs. And what it talked about, as I kept reading it, it was that training with a mask on, pretty much just like Hillel said, it would increase the strength of your respiratory and increase the strength and endurance of your respiratory system, not so much help you deliver like a greater amount of oxygen to your muscle. Because if you're cutting the flow of oxygen that you're taking in, like the article also said this, like if you're cutting the amount of air you're taking in, then you're going to have less oxygen to deliver to muscles throughout your body. So in that way, you would actually be hindering any type of working out you'd be doing by wearing the mask. So yeah, you might be improving your respiratory system endurance, but for the purpose that you think that the mask would be helping with, it would actually be hindering those, because you'd be cutting the amount of airflow that you're getting into your body, and in that way you would cut the amount of oxygen that is actually being delivered to your muscles. So it would actually hinder your workout performance instead of actually make it better. And the kind of like the last point the article made was that that people who train with these masks, that they've said, oh, like when they take it off, that they feel like they could breathe so much better. And the guy that wrote the article like jokingly was saying, yeah, if I held a pillow over your face and told you to go run a mile, and then like or if I like put a pillow over your face and told you to go run a mile and then took the pillow off your face, of course you would say that you feel like you're breathing better, because you just had the amount of air that you were breathing in restricted for that amount of time. It'd be like if you were just underwater and then like came up from the water and said, oh, like, and then like thought, okay, like it feels better to breathe now, because you were restricting the amount of airflow that you had going into your body. So like that's pretty much what the mask does. It just decreases the amount of airflow that you're getting. It doesn't train your body to increase the amount of like blood flow that you're actually, or the amount of oxygen that you're actually getting, that you're actually going to be able to deliver to your muscles. So that's kind of like the main points of the article. And it also said that like MMA fighters have also like worn these masks to train like conditions of, you know, having, you know, like being in a chokehold or whatever, where they have restricted oxygen flow. So in that way, they're just training the situation. So like, and like again, like the last main point that the article kind of made was that it might be more psychological than physiological, so that you're training the situation of, I'm trying to like think of how to like say this. You're training the situation of having a low amount of air intake, so that when you're in that situation, it doesn't seem like it's like as bad, or like you wouldn't be able to handle it. So in that way, you're like training your brain to be like, okay, like I've been in this situation, I feel better in this situation, like I'm more used to it, rather than it actually being a physiological like improvement. So that's just what I want to talk about with the breathing masks, because I've like seen them a lot. Like I've seen like a lot of top dunkers like wearing them on Instagram, and I never understood why, but I guess that would be why they were wearing them, is maybe, like, I can't say what they were thinking or like why they wear them. But I feel like it was maybe to increase their performance, or like athletic performance. But from like from this article and like a couple other studies I looked at, there wasn't really any significant increase in athletic performance by wearing these masks. If anything, it was hindered when wearing these masks, because you're decreasing the amount of oxygen that you'd be getting during the exercise. So like if you're breathing through a straw when you're trying to work out, like you would not be getting as much oxygen to your muscles as you would be if you were just freely able to breathe. So that's just kind of what I looked into with these breathing masks. Again, I'll link what I looked at in the description. But they're like the guy in this article, if you scroll down to the bottom, Hillel said stupid mask. If you scroll down to the bottom, he cites 15 different studies on like why these masks, not necessarily why these masks aren't useful. Not what I meant to say. He just cites like where he got these findings from, which again, it was from like Journal of Sports Medicine, and just like other articles like that. Actually, I have it up. Let me see. Let me just read a couple. So like, what was it? Journal of Sports Medicine, Progress in Cardiovascular Diseases, International Journal of Sports Nutrition and Exercise Metabolism, Journal of Sports Science and Medicine. Just, yeah, list goes on and on. There's like 15 studies that he lists. So yeah, again, like I don't know, like I said, I don't know why like these dunkers and like athletes and stuff are wearing these masks that I see on Instagram. Again, maybe they're wearing it for the psychological effect, because you know when they take the mask off, they feel like, oh, I could breathe better. So like when I dunk or when I work out or when I train with these masks off, like I'm gonna feel like I could breathe easier. Which, yes, like you might mentally think that, oh, like I'm not restricting my breathing right now, so I could breathe easier. Like, yes, that's definitely gonna happen, because you're allowing yourself to breathe freely. So if like, of course it's gonna feel better without the mask on. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the breathing masks. Hello, Dunks for Christ. What do you think of that? Or anybody watching, what do you have you? I said I don't know if whoever wasn't here at the beginning of this conversation, I was talking about how these breathing masks, like I've seen like people on Instagram and like videos and stuff wear these masks, and I didn't really understand why, but they've just been catching my attention. And maybe that's why they wear them. Maybe they just want people to like see them wearing it because it looks cool. I don't know. But yeah, it just like has been catching my attention. I just decided to look more into it, and so much of the stuff I found said that it doesn't actually do much to improve like physiological function. It's more just psychological. The Robo said, yes, seen lots of people with those masks. Have any of you guys ever tried to wear these masks? Because, and Dr. Price said, but psychological effects are good technically. Yeah, like that's what I mean. I didn't say that like that the psychological effects were bad. It's just that I think those like I looked up a price for the mask and it's like $80. So like if you want to train for the psychological effect, then just like put your hand over your mouth or like bring a straw to the gym. I don't know. Like, I just don't see like why you would pay $80 for a mask. This is just my opinion, but I don't know why you would pay $80 for a mask or for something to restrict your breathing when you could just like hold your breath throughout your whole workout and breathe through your nose or something. The Rumble said, no, I wanted to buy one, but never did. Maybe, I mean, maybe this conversation will help you in your decision in that. Put a towel or a pillow over your mouth. That could work too. But I mean, that's like essentially what you're doing, because like that's all the mask is just a cover over your mouth, pretty much. Hello said, I'm scared of that shit, man. I want to breathe. That's how I feel. Like I want to be able to breathe. Like I want to be able to breathe my 100% when I'm working out, because I mean, in your workouts or in dunk sessions or whatever you're doing, like you're gonna get like your breathing is gonna get restricted just by working out. So Dunks Christ said, "Oh, when you work out, you look hella funky with a pillow." All right, maybe not a pillow, but I mean like a towel or a. Again, I feel like it's just the appearance of it that is like appealing. That's like, oh, like this, like you look like a like bionic or something. Like if you guys have seen these, like again, if you guys have seen these people wear these masks, like it just looks like it looks like it would be doing something beneficial for them. Like they look more of like an athlete. I don't know. Just I feel like it's just like the images that go along with the masks that make it make it intriguing to buy or to watch people wear it. I don't know. That's just like that's like kind of how I think about a lot of stuff that I see. Like anytime I see like little products or like little tools, like jumping tools or whatever it is, like I'm always like intrigued to like look more into it, because I mean people can like sell anything and like tell you that it's gonna do this, or like tell you people who have used it that have like felt this way about it, but it's like, again, just like with the masks, it could be so much more. It could be psychological, but yet they could be selling it like claiming that it's more physiological. Or who knows? Maybe they're not selling either one. Maybe they're just selling it because they figure people will buy it because it looks cool or whatever. I don't know. Hello said that's pretty stupid. It's like training dehydrates or no sleep or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. It'd be like Hello said, it'd be like training dehydrated, or just like doing just like putting yourself in a situation that you wouldn't normally be in, that is like uncomfortable for you. So I feel like that way. Okay, now that you said that, Hello, like now it's making me think more. So like maybe in that way, if you're training, or if you're putting yourself in like an uncomfortable situation, it might make that comfortable situation, or that like normal quote unquote situation, like it might make it feel more comfortable. So like maybe in that way, that's why people would wear these masks, or train dehydrated or train on little sleep or whatever. Like maybe you're just doing these things for the psychological effect of putting yourself in situations that you wouldn't want to be in. So that way when you're in like a regular situation, you feel more focused, or you feel more optimal, because you're able to just, put all your energy into that, and you're not restricted in any way, or you're not restricting yourself in any way. So I feel like maybe, Hello, like with that point that you just said there, like maybe that's why people wear these masks, but it's like $80 for it. I don't know if it's worth that much to you to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, then I guess it's worth it. But again, you could just put a towel over your face and get the same thing. So yeah, I was gonna look up more questions I had from the week. That was pretty much just what I wanted to talk about with that. Hello said, yeah, it could make your body used to it, but is it healthy or making you perform better? Hello, I don't know if you're asking that like rhetorically, or if you really want me to answer that, but I feel like it wouldn't be necessarily like maybe the sleep thing or dehydrating, like that might be unhealthy, but I feel like with the breathing thing, it's not like healthy or unhealthy, because you're just, again, like you're just basically restricting the amount of oxygen you're getting. And like I said, if anything, physiologically, you would be increasing your respiratory endurance, like this article is talking about, but like you wouldn't necessarily be you're increasing like any kind of like muscle performance or endurance or anything like that. Mike, have you seen the Lost Breed people before? I think I have. Oh, I think Dunks for Christ, you also said that you would link that video. Yeah, send the link to that video if you have it, Dunks for Christ. The one that Kick Genius made about it, if that was the one you were talking about. And he said those dudes fly, but they have no videos on lifting, just like arm workouts or chest workouts. They just do plyo. Oh, I'm trying to think of who the Lost Breed is. I'm gonna look really quick. I know I've watched like a couple videos with the Lost Breed. I just don't remember which ones. Thanks for Christ. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, so I watched the video that was called 3 Exercises to Increase Vertical Part 2, Jump Higher, the Lost Breed. That's pretty much the only workout or any video I've ever watched that they've made. And Dunks for Christ said they just do plasma. Oh yeah, oh snap. It says I can't send links. Oh, that's weird. Hillel said you don't need to lift heavy to jump high. That's true. You don't need to lift heavy to jump high. But Hillel, I will say that like since I've been in the strength phase and like have been just like overloading my body with like as much as or with like the weight I've been doing, like I've definitely felt like jumping has been easier. So like maybe maybe we can talk about this on like another Q&A and like I could actually bring in studies and stuff, but I feel like it might, again, like I feel like we talked about this before. It could like speed up the process, but that doesn't mean, again, like Hillel said, you necessarily need to lift heavy to jump high. I feel like it would just take longer. Like you might just need to jump a lot more, or you might need to do more, like do more of other types of training to get to the same point. But I feel like doing strength exercise and like loading, for me at least, it has been beneficial. So, okay, yeah, Dunks for Christ, I'll search that. Actually, I'm curious right now. Yeah. I just want to see like how many views that has. Genius, where is? Oh yeah, okay. Actually, I might have seen this video. Wow. The video has 657,000 views. That's crazy. Yeah, so maybe I'll check that out after this, but again, yeah, I'll listen and see what he talks about in the video, but again, like from this research that I did before this Q&A, it seemed like, again, like it was that the effects were just more psychological than actually like physiological or had any benefits towards working out or training or anything. So so I had another suggestion for an experiment. Like I said, if you guys have any suggestions for like experiment videos you want me to do, or like any type of dunk sessions you want me to do, just let me know, because I look at like all the comments I get and suggestions. So I'll definitely do them if you guys have one. But I had another one that was do a dunk session where like day 1 would be a workout, day 2 and 3 no sports at all, and then day 4 would be the dunk session. And I feel like I've done that before, but I feel like when I did it then, I wasn't keeping track of like the day before or the day like any of the days prior or the day of. So that could have I could have already done that, but I feel like it'd be cool to do it again and actually keep track of it. So Hello said, yeah, Mike, you get results because you do it explosive and elastic. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, hello. So I think you okay, hello. I think you might have been talking about like the Okay, yeah, I think I missed your point. Hello, sorry. The guy that I think so Dunks with Christ is talking about the dudes that jump, but they only show like arm workouts and chest workouts. But yeah, Hillel was just kind of talking about like how it's like it is like more about how you lift, I feel like, than like how you lift compared to like the exercise that you're actually doing, if that makes sense. Because like if you're just doing curls, like yes, you might get bigger arms, but like how is that gonna help you jumping? Like it would depend like either how you're doing the curls or like I said, like everything I do, like all the workouts I do, all the exercise I do, I have the mindset of how is this gonna help me jump higher? Like how can I relate this to how could I do this to relate it to jumping somehow? And like Hillel said, like it's about doing it explosive and like thinking like I literally think like a spring or like a rubber band. Like if you guys saw if you guys saw the video I just posted, like in the workout I was doing the jerks, the split jerks, but like I was doing them like fast and explosive. Like I wasn't just pushing the bar up and like holding it up like, you know, an Olympic lifter or like somebody like that might do it where they would actually just push the weight up and like hold it there. Like I wasn't doing it like that. I was doing it more for, not that I wasn't stabilizing and working on stability also, but like I was doing it more for quickness and like explosiveness rather than just throwing weight up. So Dr. Christ said, Mike, you think for the next Q&A and you could research some things for 1 foot jumpers. Yeah, I'll write that 1 foot, because like I've talked about Operation Vertical on here before, but oh, he just kind of like made me realize some things with like training. Like because 1 foot jumping is so much different than 2 foot jumping. Like 1 foot is more just like speed and like I feel like it's more about the approach than 2 foot jumping is. Like two foot jumping I feel like it's just more power than anything. So like with the workouts I've been doing now and the training I've been doing, like I feel like I'm working more towards like I'm just like I want to put more focus into one thing. Like I don't want to have to try to divide my workouts to work on 1 foot jumping and 2 foot jumping, because it's like two opposite, not that it's like two opposite ends of the spectrum, but it's like two different types of training. So like I just want to put everything into 2 foot jumping and just like getting stronger, getting more powerful, more explosive with that, and just kind of see where that takes me, instead of like trying to do 1 foot and 2 foot and just breaking up the exercises and stuff. So I feel like it might be more beneficial to do it that way. Oh, Dunks Christ, because there's not that much out there on 1 foot jumping. Yeah, I could definitely look more into it. But like I said, I wouldn't be able to really talk about it and relate to it because I'm not a 1 foot jumper. I mean, I've tried, but like I said, I'm just working more on like 2 foot jumping right now. I'm just getting more powerful with it, more explosive in general. Like if anything right now, I feel like I'm training more like a football player, because I'm doing like heavier weight and just working on bar speed and really focusing on explosiveness with heavy weight. So I feel like 1 foot jumping is more just sheer speed. Like if you guys have watched Zach Levine, he's not big at all, like muscular wise, but like he's obviously super fast, like faster than a 2 foot jumper would be, arguably. So I feel like that's where the difference comes in, is between 2 foot and 1 foot is just power versus speed. So I'll definitely look into it for the next one, Dunks for Christ. So LL, have you been working on dunking at all lately, or jumping, or have you still been like sticking to the hyper arc? Something else I might want to talk about in the next Q&A is like tendon. What was the phrase? Tendon stiffness, because like I came across something that said, you know, when you're doing like lower reps and like more weight, that tendon stiffness plays a role in like actually seeing strength gains, or like it could be an indicator of like strength gains is like tendon stiffness. So I want to see kind of like how that might relate to jumping. And then also like a couple weeks ago, I did that jump test in the lab, and I haven't got my results back from that yet, but they should be. I emailed the person that actually like volunteered to do the study, and she said that the results would be in probably by next week, and next week is my last week of school. So as soon as those are in, like I'll put a video up and like with the results and everything. But the thing is now is that I feel like those results are like they're gonna be not as, how do I say, they're not gonna be up to date because I've changed my workouts. Like I've changed what I've done since then. Like I said, I've been doing more strength workouts, like adding more weight, like increasing the load on my body altogether. So I feel like they're not going to be as accurate as they would have been if I would have gotten like back then. But I mean, it'll still be cool to see and like to learn from and maybe, you know, see like how I've improved since then. So I mean, that'd be pretty cool. So Lel said for me, wait, yeah. Hello said for me, I don't have a major difference in vertical between 1 foot and 2 foot jumps, and I don't think there should be. It's just how much you practice and jump and getting comfortable with it. Yeah. Oh, that could be definitely true. And Dunks Christ said, but 1 foot there isn't much power involved. It's like momentum and stuff. So I feel like when I squat and deadlift, I don't get any gains. Well, I mean, Dunks Christ, like you'd still be increasing your strength by doing those exercises. So like if you're stronger, you're obviously going to be able to apply more force to the ground, whether you're dunking or whether you're jumping 1 foot or 2 foot. So in that way, you'd be like helping your jump. But like Hillel said, it could be just like a lot of it could just be technique. Like which one have you practiced more of your life, I guess? Because I mean, for me, I've practiced 2 foot jumping like ever since I started working out. Like I've never jumped off of 1 foot other than like when I would do layups. So I feel like it's just whatever you've done over like a longer period of time that you might feel more comfortable with. And then comes those secondary things of like speed and momentum and approach and like all that other, like all the little details behind it. But like, I feel like it's just whatever one you've put more repetition into and have just kind of gotten more used to jumping with. So, which I mean, Dunks Christ, that might be true that there is more momentum involved with it, but like, doing those lifts and like increasing your strength, it's not going to be like, I don't think it would hinder you at all. I mean, maybe if you just like, if you did the squats or if you did the deadlifts, like if you focus more on 1 foot, then like maybe it would help you even more. But okay, so he said, I've never jumped off 2 foot. I just feel like it's abnormal to me, but obviously for other people, they have a different feeling. Yeah, because like I said, it could be just because you've jumped off of 1 foot like your whole life or since you've been practicing jumping. So if 1 foot feels more natural, then definitely like I would say definitely like work with that more. And you know, maybe instead of doing normal squats, try like split squats or lunges, or you know, instead of doing just like normal deadlift, try like suitcase deadlift, which works more on like one side. Like you're actually doing like one side and then the other side. Not that it works the same muscles, but it just kind of singles out each side. He said, yeah, I think I'm going to start doing split squats. Yeah. Which, I mean, that wouldn't be bad for like a 2 foot jumper, I feel like, either, to work on split squats, because, I mean, you'd be working on stability at the same time with like each side. Because like right now, actually in my deload week for working out, one of the days is actually just like left side. So like it's like a weighted carry, suitcase deadlift, like a 1-arm TRX row, 1-arm push-ups. Like it's just all one side, and then tomorrow I'm going to be doing like the right side. I did left side first, and I'm going to do the right side tomorrow. But yeah, I think it's good. I mean, I think it's good to like kind of train both sides and get comfortable with just stability work in general, and like having, and I feel like core comes into that too. I feel like I don't feel like I've ever seen like a jumper or dunker that like doesn't have like a really strong core. So I feel like that's also important. Dunks for Christ like to work on like stability and strength. So yeah, I feel like both those things could definitely be beneficial. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end this live stream soon. If you guys have any more questions, just let me know. Dunks for Christ said, yeah, definitely core. Yeah, that was something I lacked with, or that I didn't take it seriously, I should say, before this live stream, or like not before this live stream, before like this routine that I've been in with like working on like my strength and stuff. I just haven't. Dr. Christ, if you have abs, does that mean you have a strong core or not? Like I haven't done any like research or anything on that, but like I would say it definitely does not mean you have a strong core if you have abs. I feel like that is just like body fat. Yeah. So yeah, like it's if you have abs and your core is not just your abs either. I guess like fun fact, but it's like your lower back, your like your hips, your posterior, your whole posterior chain. So like it's not like your abs aren't just your core. So I mean like good I feel like good ab exercises or core exercises I should say. Like it really engage your hips and really engage like it's more of like a whole like a full body movement. So like for instance, like squats. Yeah, Hillel said no, it's the body fat. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely more body fat than anything. If you just have your abs showing, it doesn't necessarily mean you have a strong core if your abs are showing. But yeah, it'd be like those. I feel like it would come into play like doing squats, doing cleans, doing like planks, just like exercise that engage your whole like more of your whole body, your whole posterior chain, your lower back, your glutes, your abs, your hips, just like that whole having all of that engaged. I feel like are the best ab exercises, quote unquote, that you could do to actually like get abs or get a stronger core or whatever. Because like that's what I've noticed from the workouts that I've been doing. I haven't been doing as much like as many ab exercises per se, but like the workouts that I've been doing have been incorporating more of my body in general, more of my hips, more of my posterior chain, more of my glutes, hamstrings, just like having that all work in sync and getting stronger with like my whole body in general has improved my core as a whole. So yeah, I feel like it's important just to kind of so technically sit-ups don't really work on core. No, if the sit-ups would work on core, but there are better exercises that you could do that would engage your core even more than like sit-ups. So like if you do hanging leg raises and like really focus on like rolling your hips up, or if you do like squats again, or like cleans or stuff like that, just like any of that stuff that like engages your core as a whole is really good to do. So yeah, like sit-ups might be helpful, but there could be better exercises. So Hillel said, it's funny how we look at all the other muscle sizes and with abs we only care if you can see the shape of it or not. Of it. I know, like it's like, oh, if you have abs and you would correlate that to like that person having like a strong core, like Dunks for Christ said, but like not necessarily. It's funny how we look at all the muscle sizes and if that's the only care. Yeah. Because I mean, like if you look at football players, like their cores, like they have, like I feel like that whole area is like usually like bigger, I guess you could say. Like it's just how I say it's like more built. Like it's obvious that like their cores are tighter and stronger. So yeah, I feel like it's not just about like if you could see the abs or like if you're a skinny person. It's just like with any other muscle, how developed is it? Like how much have you actually worked on getting that muscle stronger, that whole. And I feel like with core again, it's like more of like a whole body. It's like incorporating your whole body as a whole and like being able to strengthen it all together. So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna end the live stream here. I want to thank you guys for watching. The next live stream, I'll definitely talk about the 1 foot jumping and look more into the tendon stiffness. But next week is my last week of classes. I'm going to be doing finals this week, studying for finals, and then finals next week. But I'm going to work on definitely doing another dunk session soon. But yeah, thank you guys all for joining again. Hello, number 12 in a row. Thank you for always joining, and thank you for everyone for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream or in the next video. Hello, you tendons. Good luck on finals. Thank you. See you guys.